Um, First of all, I'd like to thank the district for allowing us to present our club's version of what an adventure in membership is. About 4.5 years ago, there were 3 main events that happened that really changed the direction of our club. The first was doing a 5-year vision plan that we had about 18 people from our club, with the help of the district, have basically a half a day to decide what we want to do for the next 5 years. The second was, there was a guest that came into one of our meetings and he said, you know, I really didn't feel welcome here. And I don't know if I want to join the club. And that hurt. So the third thing that changed our mind was watching this video.
Project last Saturday. How did you like that?
Oh, I loved it.
Is there something I can do for you?
Oh, hi. Oh, thank you guys.
And crashing our little private party. Just kidding, buddy. We have William Bilobin back.
Actually, it's Bill Ballenbeck.
Well, you know, with a name like that, you need an instruction manual. Am I right? Am I right? Oh, and well, it says right here that Bill is an attorney. That's just what we need, right? Yeah. Another attorney telling us what to do.
Yeah, actually, I do probate law.
That's all right. Sit down, Bill. If we let this guy keep going, we'll be here all night. Am I right? All right.
Great.
All right.
So we took that video to heart. So we basically established were basically 3 things: first impression, friendships and participation, and then retention. And getting members into our club is as important as retaining them. There are things that I have in this slide that, because of time, I won't go over each bullet point or each point that's in there, but I put this down in case somebody wanted to see this video that Christine will send out, and the information is there. So first impression, when someone comes into our club, what do they see? Well, we have our club meetings at the Juniper Golf Course. So when they walk up, the first thing that they see is Rotary. Oh, okay, glad they're here. And we just do that. It's also an advertisement for other people at the golf course that if they want to come to a Rotary meeting, they're more than welcome. When they come into the building, this is what they see. These banners, my wife and I visited some Rotary clubs up in Canada, and one of the clubs had a stand-up banner that just listed, bullet point, all the things that they were doing. And I thought, you know, this would be a great idea for our club. So what we do is anything that we've been fortunate to receive. We have this from Facebook page to best website to best club for 2 of the last 3 years. In addition to that, what we do is we have 3 greeters. 2 are inside behind our guest desk, and 1 is at the front door, either outside the door or inside the door, greeting everybody that comes in. And what we've done is we have people sign up for 6 months. We just basically did this for the next 2 months. And you'll notice that we mix seasoned members with new members or red badge members, because one of the things that red badge members have to do is they have to be a greeter. And we feel that the best way to greet is at the front door. So they have that experience not only of meeting somebody, introducing themselves, but the other members will basically introduce them. Then once they come into the room, basically what happens, they sign in, they buy raffle tickets. This is where our 15 minutes of energy starts, and everyone is welcoming everybody and they start talking and everything else. So it's really important at this point in time that you establish what the mode's going to be inside the club itself. When they come in, this is what they see: a red badge, they sign-in sheet. Our guests have a special form that they fill out that I'll show you in a minute. And then we also have a raffle, which is a fun thing that happens. That raffle's been up to $6,000 at one time. And then we also have some swag that we have. But when they come in, this is what they say. What is Rotary's on the back? And then everything is there. It's everything that somebody would want to join. And then when we, on our Paul Harris Fellow, when someone becomes a Paul Harris Fellow, we make a big deal out of that as well. We want to build lasting friendships. So how do we do that? This is a kind of a time video of an entire meeting. This is where all the energy is. And this is the most, to us, one of the most important times of the club. Because if you don't have the energy and people don't feel it, then you're going to lose something. And whether we have guests or guest speakers, in fact, this video will end with 2 guest speakers on the right. This is a really important time for the club. So everyone sits down. We typically have between 40 and 42 people at the club, which is well over 60% of the club at any one given lunch. We don't want to forget the guests. It's like when they come in, they fill this initial contact form, and a committee member will ask another member in the club to introduce them, and they will talk a little bit about that person. This is something that was picked up at PETS. We want to make them feel extremely welcome. So they stand up, we all applaud, and that's really good. But what this does, it gives us a base to establish our potential member contact list, because we then start to talk to them. So this is our current list, and we update this. I update this once a week, and I color code everything to see who are really good members. So for the most part, what will happen is that you will see on the blue, in the next month and a half, we're going to have at least 4 new members. And it looks like we may have 2 or 3 members after that. We don't push for membership. We just want it to happen naturally. We want them to join us for the right reason. Everybody has a format, probably the same thing that we do, Pledge of Allegiance. We do an inspiration. Our president, Joe, basically found an inspiration quote that was just wonderful. So he gives that to somebody to read every day. He puts up on the screen, and that's, instead of doing a prayer, that is basically something that we do every day. 4-way test, of course. Then you want to find something interesting that's kind of unique to your club. For us, it's what happened in this day. And then our happy dollars. Our happy dollars, we do not fine. We're not a fining club. We just want to keep everything positive. We keep track of the dollars given, and anyone that exceeds $10 in a quarter, and we do quarterly billing, those dollars will go into the Rotary Foundation or Polio Plus into their name. We also have this at the entry table and on every single table. Sometimes people don't have any money, but they still want to participate. We have one member, he always puts in $3 for Happy Dollars, and he does that for each of his 3 kids. Yet we've had people put in up to $250, but most of the people just put in anywhere between $1 and $10, most of it being around $5. This makes it really handy, and it's actually brought in close to $2,000 extra between the raffle and the different shirt of the foundation and Polio Plus and everything else. Speakers and quality food are really important for a club. My wife told me that when we were visiting her club in Tualatin, Oregon, in Tualatin. And then she was also a member of Portland, and she actually joined Rotary in 1989 when they first allowed women. But you also want to have something fun, something that people kind of look forward to. And we do this right at the end of the meeting. We do the raffle. And the reason our pot gets so big is that we have 40 white marbles, and someone has to pick out a blue marble. If they don't pick it out, they go on a list. So when the winner comes, is finally chosen, the big winner, 25% of the monies that are won will go to the Rotary Foundation in the names of the people that weren't the big winner. So when someone won $6,000, the 25% that went in, each member, depending upon how many times they drew the wrong color marble, got almost $50 sent to Rotary Foundation in their name. So speakers are important, and so is the food. We're lucky that we have a changing menu every week that we deal with the with Juniper, and we know what they're going to serve for the next almost 4 months going down the road. What's really important is after the closing bell, you go to the guest and say, thank you for showing up. We hope you had a good time. Did you feel welcomed? At this point, if they're still interested in joining the club, then we ask them, okay, great, come on back, and the next 2 lunches are on us, and our lunches are $18. We want to make sure that you like the club, you like the members, and we also want to let you know that Rotary is not a networking group. If you want that, go to Coffee Clatters. So someone says they want to join, great. They may do this after the first or second meeting. So what we basically say, we love the fact that you want to join, but we'd like you to continue to come to some of our meetings, because we have a 6-stage process to be a member. And the reason we do that is that we want to fulfill your expectations about what you want out of Rotary and our club, because it's all about you. So our phase 1 is require them to come to 3 meetings or projects or happy hours. It doesn't make any difference, just 3 functions. At the end of those 3 functions, and one person I know, there was 7 functions before they wanted to make a decision. When they say yes, we go to phase 2. If they say no, well, hey, thanks for coming. And if you ever change your mind, we're always here on Thursdays. Phase 2, what we do is we sit down for 1 hour, and it's usually the membership chair and the president, and we discuss what the obligations are to the prospective member. This is the most, and we always start with this. This is what the club owes you. Do we have a vehicle to fulfill your passions in working with the community? If we don't, are you willing to start something that we don't have? The second part of the phase 2 is, what are your obligations to the club? And that's dues, participation, and the foundation support. Our dues are $185 a quarter. It pays for everything other than extra dollars that maybe somebody might want to do to Polio Plus or the foundation. All of our IOUs are billed at that time. It pays for 3 happy hours, and that's 2 drinks and food. And we always encourage children and family members to attend every event that we have except our Christmas party. It also pays for the a catered Christmas party where we have music, and it's always +1. So either a significant other, or if you don't have that, then a friend. And it also pays for the year-end Rotary party with all family members. The participation is different for all people. We want you to participate, but in a way that's good for you. And we make that known because we don't expect you to be at every single event. The only event we would really like you to be at, if you're under 80 years old, is the Deschutes County Fair. Our oldest member is 94, Carl. He comes to, I would say, 75% of the meetings. He's very involved in the freedom with Rotary International and with peace. And he's very generous for some of the scholarships. Rotary Foundation support. We're looking for younger members. So when we started this quest for younger members, I went to every single seasoned person my age, and that was 60 and above, and I said, look, you've been doing this stuff for 30 years in this club plus, because our club started in 52. We have to make some changes, and if you don't support those changes, the club will never prosper. Everyone, to the single last man, because there were no women at the time, that age, said, yes, we'll do whatever we want. So in general, we talk about activities, projects, fundraisers, and everything else. And then we ask, is this okay? Sometimes we'll find out that the person is not really meant for Rotary. And on 2 occasions, I asked the person, or told the person, this isn't for you. One wanted to, needed money and volunteers for a 501c3 that I was starting up. So if they're looking for networking, we don't want them either. It's community service only. If they say yes, we go to phase 3. Phase 3 is a short bio and a headshot. We then send that out to the entire club, and they have a week to respond if there's any concerns or anything else. To date, no one has ever said anything negatively. If after the week we're positive, phase 4 is, at this point in time, is when they fill out a membership application. We don't want a membership application to be filled out and then you say, oops, sorry, we don't want you in our club. We have designed our own membership application because we want to emphasize Rotary Foundation monies that they may put in, and also participation. After they fill that out, it basically goes to the board for approval. And then the biggest thing is phase 6, the induction ceremony. We make this a big deal. And whether we've had 1 person or at one time 4 people, we talk about the person itself. And then what we do is we give them their swag. We have aprons that we give them because we have 3 events that deal with food in some way or another. And we have our Rotary shirts, and we have our red badge, of course, and other basics. And we give them the 2 pins that are out plus the coin. So this is a pretty good deal. This was actually taken during COVID. Our club increased in membership almost 35 to 40% during the 2 years of COVID. And almost all that was Zoom and not in-person meetings. And then I think we were one of the first clubs that basically started hybrid meetings. We also have multiple badges. We have our normal badge. We have an event badge. So whenever we are going anyplace, and I'm wearing my event badge right now, we wear those badges. And then we have badges for our significant others. And then, of course, the red badge. That seems to work really well because when we have an event and somebody's wife or husband comes in and we don't know who they are, then we basically know that it works for us. We also have 4 different types of membership: regular, family, corporate, and civic. Excuse me. Family membership, the regular is just a normal membership. Family, we give a 25% reduction to the quarterly dues. Currently, we have 3 husband and wife one dad and daughter and one grandfather, granddaughter in our club. We also have a corporate membership, which basically Rotary International doesn't really recognize, but what this does, it allows 2 company members to be registered with RI as regular members, and we reduce those dues by 10%. Something that we started 3 years ago is we have a civic membership. We invite what we feel is maybe one member of a community that might benefit the club to be part of our Rotary Club, and we pay their dues. We don't pay their their happy dollars. We don't pay anything else. It's just the $185 a quarter. Currently, we have the superintendent of schools for the Redmond School District, which, by the way, his wife is joining now too. We want to stay connected, whether it's the website or social media. What happened in the upper left-hand corner when I was president and COVID just started, I tried to think of a way, how can we basically stay connected other than Zoom, because half the people don't like Zoom, but we don't want to lose the intensity that the club was beginning to have. So this is that was the first volume of our newsletter. We didn't have a name, then we had a contest. We had a $50 for the best name. It ended up being called the 4-Way Flyer. So at the end of last year, we had a salute to all of the new members, and we had 3 pages of new members at that time. Our last issue, and it's now, at first, the issue was coming out every 2 weeks, and Becky Lou and Joe basically did an awesome job. The newsletter was anywhere from 3 to 5 pages. And now we just do it once a month with the 4-Way Flyer. But if you look just below that in the lower right-hand corner, we have the 4-Way weekly message that Joe sends out. And in the one that just went out, you'll notice that there's a link for the Zoom meeting. We also have, if somebody wants to put something in a newsletter, there's a link to Judy that goes in there. And also, if we've had something that we want people to be aware of, we include that. So there's a video of Central Oregon Daily News, a TV station, basically covered our Operation Warm, which happened like the week before. On the extreme left-hand side is our Rotary website, which is redmondoregonrotary.com or .org. It'll still both go here, and it just talks about everything about the club. We did win best website in the district. In the middle is Facebook. We have one best Facebook page as well. So we want to stay connected. Friendships and participation. We have social events. We encourage families, small kids. Our first happy hour, we had more children under 5 than we had members over 60. So it was kind of nice. It was enjoyable. We get to meet people, and what we do also in our meetings is we change seating so people can't sit at the same table. We don't normally do this every week. There are some clubs like Mount Bachelor that meet in the morning that have all these round tables, and you really can't do that. Well, there are other ways to have mingle, and Joe came up with an idea of putting a deck of cards out, and then when you check in, you get a Queen of Spades, and you go sit where the Queen of Spades is. So in mixing all that, what happens is that you have you're constantly seeing new people. We have annual events. So all of these events happen every year, and not only creates a closeness between the members, but it also is a great branding opportunity. On the upper left-hand corner, the Redmond Rotary Arts Pavilion, we're given permission by the city to use that with no charge for whatever we want. And it's great, a place in the summer. And as I indicated earlier, probably before we started this video, the Redmond Rotary Community Fields was just basically, we had a big presentation out there on Saturday. Gift of Literacy, Daddy-Daughter Dance, Desert Rose Invitational, which is a golf tournament, Operation Warm, Teachers Appreciation, a wild ride, which supports different charities every year. The Deschutes County Fair and Breakfast at Brown are all events that everyone gets involved in. They happen every single year. But we also have other things. If you basically, the top portion of this video, right? The first picture is one of our happy hours. Everybody in this bar is a Rotarian because we go there and they close the bar, or this is actually High Desert Music Hall, to everybody else for the first hour and a half. So, and then we have it different places each time, but it's a great place to mingle and everything else. And then just other pictures, the lower center picture is an event that we did for the Central Oregon Veterans Ranch when we built their greenhouse that I did get the other 8 clubs in Central Oregon to participate in. And that year, our club won the best project in the district. Retention is the third thing that we look at. We encourage swag, mentorship, special programs, and one of our special programs is assistance. Sometimes people are having financial hardships and they cannot pay their dues. We will pay their dues up to a half a year. They just go to the treasurer or the president. Nobody else knows about it, and we just take care of it. Of the 5 people that have come to us, 3 have stayed with the club, 3 have left the club because of different reasons, but it was mostly financial and things of that. We also have programs to help people get to the Paul Harris and for every Rotarian every year. We also basically, this is our swag. We sell this at every meeting, cups, tote bags. It really helps in identity. This is our mentor book. We make it personal. We put the ID number and the picture of the person. And then here's a table of contents that we have in that book. It's constantly being changed and updated, and it seems to work. And we use this also basically as part of someone getting their red badge. We keep track of those being mentored, and everyone's responsible for making sure that it's done. We also reach out to members that if they haven't shown up for the 6 or 8 weeks, why? Are you okay? Is there anything we can do? You know, we miss you, and that seems to work well. Our blue badge requirements are different for members versus transferees from other clubs. And lately, we've been getting a lot of members from a lot of clubs. I think we have 7 members from different clubs from Bend. Finally, we have local recognition. We want to make members feel that they've made an impact on the community. So on the left-hand side, the spokesman is basically, that is less than a week old. We gave $10,000 to the Central Oregon Veterans Ranch in an event that Wild Ride, Rotary, and MX13 basically do, and every year we give $10,000 to a charity in the area, from police dogs to Oasis Village. On the right hand side, what we do now is, in order to support the spokesman, every other 4 times a year, the board has agreed to put an ad in the paper. So when we basically give money to somebody, or you have a special event, we talk about that special event, and then at the end we say, if you want to be part of Rotary, that's good. The proclamation in the center is in April this year, the city basically proclaimed Rotary Club of Redmond Day, and that was because honoring our 70 years of service for the city. That's it, folks.